The meaning of Psalm 46:10, be calm and know God is in control. Have you ever had a season when it seemed like everyone was against you? Maybe things were going well and then you faced opposition from all sides. That's how King David must have felt in Psalm 46. The Israelites were being attacked by their enemies on all sides, and the psalm begins with David calling for God to come to his aid. Psalm 46:10 and 11 says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations, I will be exalted in the earth. Let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream." When we look at these verses more closely, we see a lot of encouragement to persevere through difficult times and trust that God is working everything out for our good. Be still and know that God is in control. When we're facing opposition, it's easy to get caught up in our own emotions. We may feel angry, frustrated, or even hopeless. It's also easy to get caught up in our circumstances and start believing that God is nowhere to be found. But in reality, God is always at work behind the scenes, and He is in control of every situation, no matter how bad it may seem. When David says that we can be still and know that God is in control, he's urging us to remain calm during tough times, and rest in the knowledge that God is sovereign over every situation and has everything under control. There will be times when we can't see God's plan, and it's difficult to trust that He's working everything out for our good. But we can be bold in these moments by trusting that God is still on the throne, and His perfect plan will be carried out in our lives. Justice will roll down like waters. Justice is a concept we're all familiar with, but have you ever stopped to think about what it means? In this verse, David says that justice will roll down like waters. In the ancient world, water often represented life, so this verse could be interpreted as justice bringing life to the nations. Other translations say that justice will flow like a river, bringing prosperity, abundance, and healing to the nations. We may not know how or when, but we can trust that God's perfect justice will one day be fully realized. In the meantime, we can pray that God would pour out His justice to the nations, both spiritually and physically. Righteousness will flow like an ever-flowing stream. When we think of righteousness, we often think of it as something we should strive for, but rarely achieve. In our minds, we're either righteous or unrighteous. But in this verse, David says that righteousness will flow like an ever-flowing stream. In other words, righteousness will always be flowing towards us. It's almost as if God is saying, "You have nothing to worry about, you will always be righteous before me." We may stumble and fall in our walk with God, but He has provided a way for us to be made righteous again. All we have to do is ask for forgiveness, and in His grace and mercy, God will freely give it to us. Psalm 46:10 doesn't mean everything is going to be great. Admittedly, the first few verses of Psalm 46 seem to suggest that dangers are surrounding us. David begins to tell the Israelites in Psalm 46:10 to be still and know that God is in control. God will be exalted among the nations, justice will roll down like waters, and righteousness will flow like an ever-flowing stream. He urges them to trust that God will protect them and bring them out of their current situation. God has called us to be people who walk through both the good times and the bad times with His help, grace, and strength.